Hello, everyone. My name is Fred Chapman. I'm CEO and president of True Abundant Life Community Outreach. We are a social service, public charity, nonprofit organization located in Dauphin County, Lower Paxton Township, here in the great city of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And we are starting a podcast relating to community anxiety, community mental wellness, on all different aspects. And the podcast is called Let's Talk About It. And we will be dealing with so many different aspects. And today we are focused on youth stress and anxiety. And today we have our therapist, Mr. Stephen Johnson here, and we have Miss Raquel here, an educator and therapist. And we also have Leon. He is a father and Commonwealth worker and father of a teen. So he brings another whole nother aspect of the conversation. And last, over there on the end, we have another volunteer of True Abundant Life Community Outreach. We have Mr. Jeff Mitchell. And so we are Jeff is also an educator. We're looking to just dive deep into a conversation regarding mental wellness and the community in general, primarily dealing with youth, young adults, teens, all of those areas. We want to dive into that conversation. Stress and anxiety, what it looks like today in today's society. On today's level, there's so much regarding social media. So we really want to dive deep into that. So welcome to our first session here in January of Let's Talk About It. All right, so we're ready to start talking about some of the conversation we had before we actually started being recorded here. We were talking about how social media plays a huge platform in some of the anxiety and some of the a large issue regarding our young people in general, not just young people, but people in general. So. Can I hear from some of you regarding the cell phones and the classroom and some areas that you feel that anxiety is becoming such a issue?
I think social media, it takes away from a normalcy of child's growing up. I think a lot of times you look and you see things that's going on throughout the world, and everybody has like the Hollywood scene going on, or you're creating a narrative that you want people to see. The problem is that it's not reality. And so now you have kids striving to be something that's not real.
Absolutely.
And so now they're going to the deeps of their sea to get to that point. And if I don't get to that point, then how do I deal with the shortcomings that I'm feeling on not reaching the goal of dancing on the beach,
Right.
having the best looking girl? Like, what does that look like now for
Absolutely.
me? And I think a lot of times that's where you get the depression, or I'm not good enough, and all this self-doubt that comes across. But it's all based on fiction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. And it's a great way for, I think, young people to hide behind this image on who they want society, or how they want society to perceive them. And I think that's a problem. That's a real problem, because then when society sees the real them, the real you, then and kind of call them on the real them, then they're not able to, accept it.
And when you say hide, what I think of is acceptance, that last
Yes.
piece, right?
Absolutely.
And so, like, not only do I want to create this false bravado, right? I'm not even really ready to accept who I am.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Whether I can play basketball or can't play
Yes,
basketball, whether I can
absolutely.
run fast or can't run fast, whether I got jokes or no jokes.
Absolutely.
Right? I can't accept that. And so now I got to go to ChatGPT. I got to get all the different
Yes.
resources I got to create something
Absolutely.
that I'm not. Right? And then in my
Absolutely.
regular day life, it's like, well, that's just Steve.
Right.
Yo, Steve, let me see you dunk. I can't dunk, man. That was like the imagery I done put up. Man. That's so you doing this. Like, that's not even who I am.
Right.
Oh, that ain't you.
Right.
Man, you're not even real. So now I'm dealing with all that self-guilt
Yes.
in reference to like this image I presented.
Yes.
That's not who I am.
Yeah. and trying to live up to that. Trying to
Right,
live up to
right, and then that acceptance comes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so many of the K through 12 students that have to deal with that don't have the social or emotional uh, requirements to deal with that kind of stuff on social media. So I think it's really important to like make sure that the parents are monitoring the kind of social media and use that their kids are getting out of the with the phones and the social media and all the apps. But I think it's also responsible. The school needs to be responsible on setting standards for what's acceptable use for the phones, and
True.
they can be an amazing aid to education if they're used properly.
True.
Too many times they're not, and the kids and the students just don't have the guide or the supervision to make sure that how they're supposed to be using the tool is
Absolutely.
used properly.
And Jeff, I'm sure when you said about the schools, I'm pretty sure you also agree too, is that the parents at home, and of course Leon here, Father Bettine, I'm sure he can kind of relate to that as far as having to have certain restrictions, phone time and things. You hate to do it with the team, but I'm sure at dinner time you have to kind of like say, hey, look, put your phone away. What do you think about that, Leon?
All right, so piggyback also off of hand play. I feel as though with the cell phone, social media, there comes a balance. Like I don't think like there's some parents who don't give you anything, no phone, no iPads, no nothing. But at the same time, they might have friends who that may be their only way of communication. Also, to think about it, like I make videos, so I might post them on like TikTok or social media. Everybody's goal is to go viral or
Yeah.
to somehow try to transition that into your permanent job and make money. I get that part. But then it comes to the point where for the ones who hide behind the screens, like the teens, they go on there because it's comfortable. They meet other people like them. However, what if you don't go viral? Like, what if you can't do anything past it being a hobby? Now you
Yeah.
gotta work on your social skills,
Yeah.
which a lot of people aren't good with,
Yeah.
especially since COVID.
Right.
I ran into people too who don't know how to speak, they don't know how to communicate properly, all because of the technology. So
Absolutely.
where do you go from there? So that's why I think there should be some type of balance at home, like you said, like no phones at dinner or past a certain time, not at school.
Mhm.
So where you can have that interaction with people, but also again, that what if you don't get to live your dream job? Now you got to come back to
Yes.
reality. You
Absolutely.
got to go into
Absolutely.
you gotta exemplify yourself. You gotta build your character up. You can't hide. Like the therapist was saying, some people to where they'll get on the phone and then they'll build like what you want them to see of you.
Yes.
And then if they don't like something, they just turn it off. You can't do
Right.
that in real life.
Absolutely. 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 You can't go back in it. Right. You're right. After it's out there. Right.
Yeah. So you
Right.
gotta learn to deal with you in order to
Right.
live in the real world.
Absolutely.
It's just a dream at the end of the day.
Absolutely, it certainly is. And when you mentioned something, Leon, about not being able to communicate to the public because you're so, you're just have this facade up and you're not able to really articulate yourself. And Raquel, you had, I'm sure you've had great experience as an educator, and I think you focused a lot on reading and language arts and things. Do you find it difficult also for kids to really be able to, or young people in general, to be able to articulate themselves?
Yes, I was gonna say, I have a lot of comments, but like instant gratification's big. So to being able to turn off, like you were saying, like the cell phones and such, that could be within the classroom with each other, sending each other Snapchats and texts and everything. It's like that boundary right there, as well as like you could set that standard
Yes.
as a professional teacher, parent. But the whole, I'm gonna do it,
Yes.
yes or no.
Absolutely.
Even like the consequences, they don't care.
Absolutely.
And then that goes back to like even the parents might be busy or working in our single family homes where it's like, oh, you got in trouble at school, I don't really care.
Absolutely.
Like I ain't got time for that. You can come home and do whatever. Get out of my face, don't see that side, even the therapist side, like I see, like just a parent has said, I did want to get an iPad, but I'm happy I got an iPad because it's so quiet. I can't even tell the kids are at home.
Yes.
A
Absolutely.
lot of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Same idea with like the kids, like the family aspect, I believe. Like educators need to get in touch with the families, and we have to show, it is, like back when I was younger, like that was a big thing. You didn't curse at a teacher, you didn't talk back, you didn't argue. Like nowadays, these kids, no offense, but I don't know if it's not being taught at home,
Yes,
The lack of respect
Right.
is wild,
absolutely.
So they have that social piece.
Absolutely, you really do. And the thing is that and Leon, as a parent, is that you could teach at home, as a team, but then when they come to Jeff and to Raquel as educators, something's changed up. So I'm sure you probably see, then you get a call from the parent, and I don't know. What do you think, Steve? What do you think do you think there's a disconnect with, the school and the parents?
So I would say, they even say, like the kids will say, "Have you speak to your mom like that?" And they say yes. The person at home, yes. So like you create the boundary, but I don't know,
Yes.
it's like you're saying, like both ways. It's so
Okay.
different.
You think so much
It's
about
so like it's a complex topic, right? And I'll speak my personal experience, right? I'm originally from Camden, New Jersey. I've been cussing since I was 6. My mom never cussed. What I learned was that I can cuss around friends. I can't cuss at home,
Right, right.
right? I went to a Catholic school, so we wasn't cussing at nuns, right? That wasn't the thing. So you started to understand where you could do certain
Right.
things,
Absolutely.
right? But could it be home? Absolutely. Could it be environmental? Absolutely. Right? These things are not one size fit all.
Right.
It's really about that exposure, right? Where was I growing up at?
Right.
What was I talking?
Absolutely.
What was I modeling? What was being modeled for me? Who was I looking up to as my role models? Right? And so earlier in the conversation, I just sat back and I'm like when everybody talking about that dinner time talk,
Yes.
and you have
Yes.
that, do we?
Right.
Do we sit down and really like, hey, 5 o'clock, supper's ready,
Right.
Is it even called supper, right? You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Are we having those times?
Absolutely.
And for me, like I would tell you, we haven't. I don't know when we stop,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
But I think you have more single homes, right? I think you have more moms out here working and grinding and doing what they need to do
Yes,
to support.
absolutely.
And so I also think that's where more resources come into play, like your Boys and Girls Club and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
Right? You want to make sure those things are a part of the process, especially if little Johnny's home by himself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? So we're not leaving him to his own devices.
Right.
That's a
That's true.
high risk situation.
It really
And
is.
so you want to make sure, like, you want to try to get those resources, those positive ones, as you can, but understanding what those positive resources are, just like your clubs,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
You may run into these kids who speak like this.
You do.
I may pick that up.
Right.
Right? I may learn to
Very
speak.
easily.
What that mean?
Right.
Oh, we about that time? Oh, about that life?
Right.
Oh, my dead homies?
Right.
Oh, all right. Like, so you see all these things, and now you have everybody speaking
And they
in
pick it up.
jargon from TikTok and all the other things.
Absolutely.
Like, I just learned what pressure means. I didn't even know. Like, there was like,
That's one night yesterday.
they was like, yo, I'm pressure. I was like, you what?
Right.
Oh, they think 'cause I'm a parent, I can't be pressured. I never, I'm familiar, right? Can you identify or can you describe what this looks like? So they
Right.
sent me a video, and ideally, what it is like a mom saying, "I still can look good if I want to put the makeup on and the dress can go out."
Right.
But that's called pressure.
That's called pressure now.
Yeah,
Wow.
see,
What a
didn't
different
know.
time.
I
Yeah.
learned that.
Right. And I just learned that today.
There you go. Yeah.
I was merchandise,
Oh, really?
but it's like tell me the truth. Say no, God. Tell me you're telling the truth. Like, tell me, are you being
Really?
rich right now? I'm like, merch.
Wow. Isn't that something? I'm learning something.
Use slang, lingo.
So all that stuff then ties into
Right.
the vocabulary
Absolutely.
words I'm using throughout my day.
To be able to articulate.
Right? To be able to articulate or not even articulate to the point that that person can understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Which now
Absolutely.
runs into the conversation of like, what are you doing? Who are
Right.
you? Now, do I feel judged? Do I feel like I gotta stop talking?
Right.
Do I feel like I gotta shut down? Because
Absolutely.
you can't accept the person I am, and
Absolutely.
the person I am is different from the person you are. Or who
Absolutely.
you thought a kid should be
So
at
true.
the age of 10.
So true.
Right? And all those things that manifest themselves in one classroom.
So true.
Right? And you have these kids, that kid, this kid, those populations, and now they're all together, and you're like,
Yeah, I know.
I say there's a time and place.
It
I
is.
said, you might curse at home, I get that. I said, but in this classroom, we're not.
Right.
Which, like you said, you know where to curse, you know where not to curse. But I also think to teach them the model, that appropriate behavior, whether they're getting it at home or not, you know what I mean? Just to teach them to be respectful adults one day. Like I said, we're here to keep you safe and to teach you about life.
Mhm.
So I feel like if they can
Absolutely.
get that at home, at least they got responsible, respectful.
Absolutely.
They could feel safe around, talk
A safe
to.
space.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly
Right,
right, a safe
absolutely.
space.
Yeah, I think that's important too. As we go into a conversation, kind of shifting a little bit here about safe space. What does that look like? What does that look like in today's time? When I was coming up, of course, the village was more. You had the grandparents were there, and the great grandparents were around, and they were older generations. They weren't down. The generations are even younger, and so sometimes it was something you couldn't talk about with your parents. You was able to go to granddad or grandmom, and those people they were there. It seems like that whole dynamics of that family that structure has changed, and it looks like this child may not have a safe space, and maybe this is why we're hearing of suicide and things like that. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was telling Leon, but oh my gosh, I have a girl, and she says, "Why can't you adopt me?" And I get that all the time, and it's sad because she's sweet, she's happy. Is what she always looks like. Her parents are fighting all the time at home. Like the parents, which I had thought were married, but not. But they don't like each other, but they still live together.
Mhm.
Mom has a boyfriend, dad has a girlfriend, and she told me, I said, "Oh, why don't you do this? You can come to home and I'll help you with this homework." And she goes, "No, I want to do that homework." And I said, "Why?" She said, "Because I don't want to be around that. I want to be able to busy because I'm doing, I want to do
Okay.
my homework," which I think is wild because as a kid growing up, I didn't want to work.
Oh,
I mean, I wanted to play with my friends. I wanted to do those things. Whereas like kids nowadays might have friends but don't have the transportation to get there, don't have the means to get there, So then that safe space comes back to school because that trusted adult I can speak to, but
True.
you're not gonna go and run and tell them that I told you
Yes.
this. Obviously if you're mandated reporter is a different aspect. But,
Absolutely.
it's different when they're just trying to confide in you
yes.
simplicity of like, this is my life versus, somebody else's life. And then I had a boy who was also walking with us like, oh, I have that too. I look like that.
Yes.
Which, okay, now they have a connection, whether they know it or not. And the boy goes, I don't usually talk about this. And I said, well, I get that
Yes.
because you don't want to tell your friends.
Absolutely. That's
And I
usually the
understand
case.
why maybe they don't want their friends to come over
Yes.
because that's not a safe space.
Yes. Absolutely.
Vice
Absolutely.
versa.
Yeah, you find it in all different areas. You wonder nowadays what does a safe space look like for what do you think, Steve? What do you think? I mean, do you get some parents that maybe say, okay, Steve, can you sit and talk with my son or daughter on a regular basis because they can't confide to in anyone at home or they won't? Do you think it's a matter of trust or
I think oftentimes that what I find is more parents want to like, why ask them, like, tell me anything, right? And they don't tell me and they don't share, right? But I be like, yeah, like, make sure you're being parents when the kids are small, right? So as they're growing up, I'm initiating these conversations. Now, understand, I'm big on like, you got to ask like good questions for
Yeah.
our parents, right? Yo, you be like, Steve, how was your day? I'm gonna tell you good. I might have gotten in 3 fights, might have cussed out a couple of kids. I might have had a bunch of these things going on, but Steve Johnson's gonna tell you good, all right? I've been suspended, I've been all kinds of things. Like, yo, you a therapist? I am, right? Trauma therapist is what I do. But growing up, I was that kid,
Yeah.
right? You talk to my mom, she'd be like, which one of your kids remind you of you, right? Because I was him. But if you ask me, like, how was your day?
Yes.
I'm always gonna tell you a good day.
Yeah.
I ain't never gonna tell you it was a rocky day.
Right.
Right? I ain't never gonna do
Absolutely.
that. But if you go, and I'm talking about like young, right? 5,
Yeah.
6, 2, 3,
Yes.
right? Yeah, what made you smile today? What gave you anxiety? What made you mad?
Yeah.
What made you frustrated?
Absolutely.
When was the time that you was like, I don't know what to right? So now I'm going to help a kid start to think about their day, to try to recall their day.
Absolutely.
So now I keep having these type of conversations with you regularly.
Absolutely.
So now that you're 14, 15, 16, I might walk in your room like, what's her name?
Right? Specific.
You know what I
Right,
mean?
absolutely.
You be like, what you mean?
Well,
Yo, what's her name? We all know.
right, absolutely.
Is she in your class? Is she not in your class? Like, what's her name? You know how to talk to her?
Right, right.
You know
Well,
how to approach? Like, I want to have this
yes,
to spark all of these type of
Absolutely.
conversations. So now that safe space can be authentic.
it
Yeah,
can.
absolutely.
It can start to just
Broaden.
create itself.
Right.
And now you can always look to stretch a little bit
Yes.
more. Now, mind you, they might, man, I ain't talking about you, but I'm always going to be the one
Absolutely.
to encourage all my parents.
Yes.
Yo,
Absolutely.
these are opportunities.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Take a phone and be like, let me go do this thing. They gonna be upset. They gonna be mad.
That's what-
I don't care.
That's
You're
what I
trying
did,
to
come
create an environment
Yeah.
to where
Yeah.
though me and that kid,
Yeah.
me and my son, me and my daughter, let's talk about
That's
this
what
stuff.
you do.
Because if you don't,
If you don't,
they dealing with it anyway,
they are.
right? So if you don't bring it to the forefront, they
That's good.
are already working on those dynamics in their social environment. I don't care what school you in,
Absolutely.
everybody's getting married.
That's right.
Everybody's going through puberty.
They are.
Right? If you don't start to talk about this stuff, they're like, hey, yo, you get something yet? Like, that conversation is going to be, hey, yo, you smoke?
Yep. Absolutely.
You got a vape?
Yep.
What's a vape? Like, those are going to
So
manifest.
it's going to be had. The
had.
conversation is going to take place with or without you.
Yes.
And with someone, and it may not be the
Yes.
person that it should be taking place with, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, so a lot of the responsibility, it falls again back at home with the parents. You know, I know when I was coming up, of course, we didn't have the cell phone issue and things like that, but it was a huge dive right into your business. The door could not be closed in our house. See, your bedroom door couldn't be closed. If your bedroom door was closed, my mother opened it up. It must stay open. There was no closing the door. And with that, and the reason for that is I think it was her way of being able to peek in and just see what's taking place and see if you're just setting. She could look at and she's seeing you just setting, looking sad or something. Then she'd come in and okay, you're not gonna hide behind this door.
And that's
You know
different
what I
for
mean.
students as well. I think the rapport, you know, that
Yeah,
everyone
absolutely.
check-ins.
Relationship.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. To know, like, back to like even the suicide thing, to know somebody might be going through some hard times, you start to learn kids like, okay, that's not them. They're not acting like they usually do. You know, like whereas another teacher will look at them or maybe a person, even a parent, like, oh, that's not gonna always be guard.
Right.
No, they don't usually do that. It's
Yeah.
not something they do, or they always check in with me in the morning, they did it today. That's
Right.
not normal for them.
Yeah, and you start to notice, and I'm sure, Jeff, you too, I'm sure you probably notice with your students is that you can tell when something else is going on with them because they're normally maybe bubbly or something, and you said, gives a shit, they're not themselves.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback on what Steve was saying, that really having carefully thoughtful questions for the students or your, son and daughter, are they your child or your student, really lets them know, even if they don't want you in their business, in their phone, ultimately they know that you are doing it from a place where you care about
Right,
them.
based on
And
love.
whether we're educators or parents or the student, we're all going for the success of the student. We want the student or the child to be successful. So showing them that you are asking those kind of questions is a way to create a safe space, because they know you genuinely care if you're asking the right questions.
Absolutely.
And that also really helps with education, as from a teacher's standpoint too, asking students questions that are going to engage them in the learning, whatever the learning is. You have to have really relevant questions that mean something to them.
Absolutely. And kind of like Steve, what you were saying about conversation that interests them almost. They don't probably want to talk too much about, politics with you.
Right.
They want to talk about something else.
Video games. They want to
Right.
talk about video games.
Right.
I don't go with video games. I would tell you what, my mom, love her to death. I'm a mama's boy by heart, right?
Yeah.
You know, she's like, you don't even talk to me. Well, this man said, love my mom. Love her to death, right? My mom will play Tekken. My mom will play Mortal Kombat. She'll get on these joysticks, right? You teach her like 2 things to do.
Right.
My little friends that come over, like, yo, you can't even be my mom, right? It just, and I don't know if she did it on purpose, intentional, whatever it did, right?
Right.
But it made my mom jump into my world,
Absolutely.
right? It
Absolutely.
wasn't in me always she was trying to fit in,
Yes.
right? I teach my parents, whether it's all of them, right?
Yes.
It is your job. It is your responsibility. Once you have a child, you're signing up to always chase your child.
Absolutely.
Oh, I don't care if he's 24. I'm older now. My mom will call me. She's like, hey, you know I'm waiting on that call back, right? And she's calling me right now from the time I said, Mom, I'm gonna hit you back, and I ain't hit her back.
I totally agree.
Right? That could be Saturday. I talked to her on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you're supposed to always have that. You're supposed to always
Oh,
be
absolutely.
chasing, right?
Absolutely.
And so as I was growing up, my mom was like, Mom, you trying to play Tekken? She's like, I'm gonna play. Right? Like she taught me how to do solitaire. So now, like I'm like, hey, Mom, can I stay up late? I'll play you on solitaire. So like if you look at solitaire, you got the little time on
Yes,
there.
Absolutely.
You had to get that time
That's
down. You
it.
gotta figure it out,
That's
right?
it.
But it's all cultivating a good relationship. It's
That's
all
it.
having that.
Absolutely.
As I understand, I'm also mindful, excuse me, that when it comes to certain conversation, some kids may not just want to have it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm a kid. I'm a boy raised by a single mom. I'm not gonna talk to my mom about sex.
Yes.
Not, but she would bring that to me.
She did.
Hey, you want to have that conversation?
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
nah, I'm good. You got
Oh,
that
yeah.
control. I don't know what you want to do, but I ain't doing that.
Oh.
Right? But she continued
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
to
Absolutely.
bring that to me.
Yeah.
Right? With everything else, with the Tekken, with the Mortal Kombat, with the school, with this.
Yeah.
Right? And I was saying, I would tell you that, yo, I was the one to do. You had me in 2nd grade. You remember me in 7th grade. You're like, oh, I remember him. Right? You didn't remember me for like always getting my work done.
Right.
Right? And that wasn't what the memory
Yeah.
was about.
Absolutely.
Right? And so my mom was always in that.
Absolutely.
She was always a part of that.
And I can relate to that, Steve.
And just don't parent when I'm 12.
Absolutely.
I need you to
So it
parent
starts-
all the way up.
It starts early. That's what you're saying? It started early.
0 to 5, 90 to 95% of your brain is already cultivated and developed.
Absolutely.
Right? So now, what am I doing during those years? Right? Is it just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
What you
Right.
see at restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Even talking.
right? What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Are we interacting? Are we engaging?
Absolutely.
Are
Absolutely.
we not doing
No,
those
we're
things?
not. Absolutely.
Right? And so all that stuff plays a role. So then when you go, like, I'm really debating going back to my doctors. I really don't know yet. Don't judge me. Right? Because I used to always be like, yo, like as parents, we create all this stuff. Like we create so much.
We do.
Well, my little Johnny, he has ADHD. Well, like you never taught him how to sit down,
Yes.
right? We never taught him what the read looked like. We never taught him that. Now he's 6 or 5, depending on when your birthday falls. Now we put you in school. Now we got a teacher like, yo, go sit in the corner. For how long? Right? So now I go sit in this corner and I move. You're like, yo, what are you doing? Let's put you in a corner. I need you to give me 5 minutes.
Right.
Can't even count to 10, let alone 5
Right.
minutes.
Yes.
Right? How long is that?
Yeah.
Right? So now you're like, well, does he have ADHD? My mom says I can't sit still. Well, have you been trained? This is that. Have somebody taught you?
Yeah.
Has somebody poured into you? Yo, we got to be on this carpet. We don't get up till this timer goes off.
Right.
Oh, right, we're going to read this book.
I think the whole parenting aspect and accountability has certainly changed because I'm with you when it comes to the parenting. I do a lot of mentoring to young people as far as parenting, and specifically fathers. Is that I don't know what the aspect of parenting is today, but it certainly has changed. The dynamics of it has changed because I think there's some rooted practices that must remain the same, such as build relationship building. And as you stated, coming up, is my mother was the same with 3 boys. She started early on with building the relationship and the conversation, and that caused that it had to start with her spending time, playing basketball with us, playing tennis with us, riding the bike with us, conversation. So we felt safe. And then as she got into the 70s and we're over in 50s, we're still, as you, we're working out with her, we're walking with her, we're talking. Conversation is going. And that was the way life was, constant conversation. But it started early on. And like you said, it's starting with the things that maybe the child likes. I remember when my daughter was little, I mean, we're playing tea. You know, I'm father. She's look, we're having tea parties. It started then. During the tea party, you can figure out what she's thinking a little bit at that early age. So the parenting starts, as you stated, early on to kind of dig into their head, find out what they're thinking. Or you don't just start as a teen and then start trying to figure out, and now I'm trying to build this relationship with you. And
Yeah.
I want you to open up to me, you know. Oh, Leon, you have a teen. What do you think about some of this?
Well, a few things. So for example, like there, you got to talk about the safe space. You got to figure out how to get that person to open up, and that involves communication. Now, when I was growing up, there's things where parents were like threatening you. They're like, if you go drink, if you drink anything, I'm gonna beat you, you know. And then I'm in my head like, well, I'm never gonna tell you what I even do that.
Right.
So now I can't come to you. So you already
That's
made it
true.
to where I can't
That's
come to you.
true.
'Cause I don't want to think about the consequences.
We grew up in that era.
So you are bottling. Sometimes you are bottling up a lot of stuff, and that goes back to my son a little bit. He may think the same way, like, oh, I don't want to tell my dad this because he might think this of me, or I don't want to tell my mom this because she might think this of me, or tell my dad.
The repercussions,
Yeah.
the consequences.
Yeah, everybody,
Opening up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good conversation.
Yeah.
See, what do you think about that as far as, I mean, we want them to open up and we want them to be transparent, but they do know there's going to be ramifications and
Well,
consequences.
are you a household that kids are supposed to be seeing and not heard? Do your kids have a voice?
Yeah.
Can I talk about some things,
True.
right? And so if I'm a kid and like I don't have a voice, where they'll like, and doing therapy, a lot of my kids like, my mom will never listen to me. Now that probably is 100% true, right? But is it 85, 90% true?
Right, right,
You know?
right.
How often do they have these words and have these conversations on this is how I'm feeling or this is what I'm going through? As adults, do we believe? Do I invest in that? Do I pour into that? Do I be like, ain't nothing wrong with you, you better get up? Right? What do I do as this kid is saying now?
Absolutely.
Right? And so
Absolutely.
as we want to create a safe space, right? It's really up to that kid to determine if this space is safe.
That's true.
Right?
That's
They're the one that has to say it.
That's good.
I'm trying to cultivate it. I'm trying to do everything. I'm being outgoing. I'm being
Yeah.
engaging.
So we're thinking we think we're creating a safe space
Mm-hmm.
for a child, whether it's at home or it could be at school,
Mhm.
wherever. But
Mhm.
the child ultimately is the one that
Well,
determines if it's safe for them.
Absolutely. So like that kid, that person, they have the ultimate decision. You could tell me anything. Well, the last time I told you this what happened, things went sideways. How often do I want to always bring that to you?
That's
And I would say this, right? This is why the conversation of the bike ride and all that and the tea is
Right.
important, right? The safe space can't begin during turmoil and conflict,
Absolutely.
right? Because now all I know you as is the disciplinary.
Right. Absolutely.
If we want to really have that genuine safe space, we got to cultivate that all the time.
True.
Right? We got to be talking all the time.
True.
Not why'd you get in a fight.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? We ain't talk about why I want to play football.
Right.
We ain't talk about why I
Absolutely.
want to work out. We ain't
Right.
talk about why I need to study for my test. We ain't talk about
Right.
all the other things.
Right.
Now you want to play parent,
Right.
right? You always been parent, but now you want to jump into that
Absolutely.
parental role
Yeah.
to saying, what made you get in a fight?
Yeah. So it's back to the relationship building.
Yeah.
It's back to starting that relationship with them early on,
Right.
if possible.
Right.
I was thinking about one of the true abundant life philosophies of meeting people where they're at. And
Yes.
that is really important too, because you're talking about bridging how the people that are most prevalent in the child's life, the teacher and the parent are two of the most prevalent people in terms of time together. So, both the parent and the teacher meeting the child where they're at, and then the parent and the teacher also having good communication with each other can help, build some of those bridges, or sort of understand where some of the gaps are if there's good communication and good questions being asked from the responsible parties.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good.
Right.
That's so true.
And it's that time in, right? It's the time in.
Yeah.
By being around you, we going to develop that relationship,
Absolutely.
right? But being around you in an intentional manner,
Yeah.
right? Being around you don't mean like you're on your phone here,
I was gonna
I'm
say-
over here.
Absolutely.
That ain't being around you. You know how you talked about the pandemic? I would say my own self, right? I had to learn the difference between existing and being present.
Absolutely.
Two different things.
Two different things.
Right? Being present is me and you in the same environment.
Yes.
Existing now is now me and you having that. We engage and we're existing
Absolutely.
amongst each other, right?
Absolutely.
And so that's important,
It's very important.
right? And if you don't have that, you're over there, I'm over here.
And that's what kids need to show, that you're present, show that you care.
Yeah.
I think that's so huge. I feel like how you're saying, like as a parent, to bring that, how you were saying, those questions and that rapport starts early. But I feel like as an educator, if you do that same thing, you get the same response. Like I pride my kids in honesty, but I mean, they will straight up show me and tell me, oh, this is how I cheat. This is how I do it. Well, thank you. Knowing that they're telling me, no, I'm the one who's now we're gonna take that away. You're using that anymore.
Yeah.
But you can talk to them real, and they are real with me. And I come home and I say, I can't believe some of the things they say when they know firsthand that I'm going to be the one to snitch, as they were called.
Right.
That I will, because I pride in them. Like, you can do it. Stop being
Yes.
But
Right.
I can say that because of the rapport. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, I pride myself
Right.
also, like, you can do it.
Right.
And like saying that with the parents, having that show the parents, like, I'm proud of them. They
Right.
can do this as soon as like a little thing, like their grade goes up. I'll email the
Absolutely.
parent and be like, look at this,
Absolutely.
at home I've been praising them,
Right.
like you said, and just having that and telling the, the student side, like, hey, I talked to your parent today, I told him how good, you gave him a good email? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But will I give him that other email? Yes.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
So the negative and the positive in all aspects. And I think the fact of building the relationship with them allows you to be able to bring about disciplinary.
And to know,
Correction.
like you were talking about how the parents, or how when you hold them accountable, the kids, they come to you because they trust you and feel comfortable with you. And I think most kids want to be held
Oh, yeah.
accountable
Oh, they do.
because they know that is a way of showing that you care about them.
True. That's true. And it's definitely, not probably, but definitely as a parent, I know myself, but definitely with parenting as well.
Yeah.
They want to be.
And they'll tell you about structure. And they'll tell you why structure is good. And they can have that conversation like, yo, it's good. I went from here to here to here to here to here. You know what happens when we don't have that? I'm bored.
Yeah.
You know what I do with bored? My idle time is the devil's workshop.
That's
It's really easy out here, right?
That's my generation.
Yeah, it's really easy out here, right? If I'm bored, I'm gonna find some mischief.
Right.
Like I'm gonna jump into something that we can do, right? And they might be like, look at this glass, I'm about to take them joints.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, wrong.
He can't even see me once I run. I'm gonna just
Yeah.
like you're gonna have some fun
You're
now.
gonna have right.
Right, and
Absolutely.
that fun is going to result into these consequences that we really don't.
Absolutely.
We
Absolutely.
really ain't looking to get them.
Yeah.
But in the mind, like you're like, I gotta do something, because it's like Ricky Bobby and Talladega Nights. It's like I don't know what to do with my hands. Right, I gotta do something with my hands.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so, like now, these hands, they gonna get paid.
They're gonna do something.
They
Yeah.
gonna do something.
Absolutely.
And it ain't gonna be like, I gotta go read, I gotta go write. It's like, nah, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna mess with. What you looking at? You always looking at me, right? That's gonna spark.
Absolutely.
Because now I gotta have something to do.
That's so true. That's so true. And the thing is that so many kids are hearing today stating is that I'm bored. I don't have anything to do. There was never a time where we were bored coming up. So that's why what I just keep thinking about my generation about how the parenting has changed, because I was never bored, but yet today's time there's more available to them than it was when I was coming up. But I don't know whether it's because we were afraid to say we were bored because we end up washing windows or something. I don't know what it was, but I never said I was bored. Now I'm bored. I'm bored.
See, and when I hear that, I always ask you, like, what does a board look like to you? Walk me through it. right? Because now I get a picture of what you think is boring,
It's instant gratification.
right? If
They're missing
it,
that instant gratification. Why am I not getting that? Why am I not getting that?
yeah,
Whereas boredom, I
Oh,
think, can be positive.
right. I just gotta, for me, I want you to tell me, right? Because if not, yeah, I place what I think bored into your mindset, right? So that can be a disconnect, right? Making that assumption can be all. So now you describe to me what it looks like. Now, only on a video game. Oh, you ever played checkers before? What's checkers? Oh, now we got a conversation going on because you never experienced checkers before. So now I'm going to expose you to something new. By exposing you to something new, then maybe we take a little bit of time away from that being bored, right? Oh, I only gotta watch my brother. What are you doing with your brother? You ever try to do some games with your brother? You ever try to teach your brother? Right. So now we're trying to, for me, it's always trying to figure out where you at, meet you there, right? To meet you where you're at, and then not leave you there, build you up.
Absolutely.
Right. So now we're trying to build that space up, but at the same time doing it in a structured manner. Right?
Absolutely.
And so that's always in my mind of like, well, what does that look like? Walk me through that. Right? Because I want you to tell me more than me saying, well, no, you're not bored. You could do this.
Yes.
That don't work.
No, it doesn't
That
work.
don't work with kids.
It doesn't work.
Right? Why aren't you doing this? Go study for your medicine. I want to study.
Right.
Just move on that. Now you want me to study? Like, yo, it's 4 o'clock. I just got home. Right? Engage me in a different way and see if we can get some different results.
Right.
Right? Definition doing the same thing over and
That's
over
true.
is
That's
insanity.
true.
If I'm not insane, this isn't working. I'm gonna try something else.
That's true.
Right? I'm just going to try
Yes.
something else. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but I'm going to try it in a different direction.
I'd say for a therapist side of me, that's what I do. When I say, okay, consequence, the kid does something, has smart mouth, saying inappropriate things, whatever, take away the preferred, right? The video games, the phone, the whatever. Now replace it with family time. They can play a game with the sister. They can play a game with you. So same idea, like you're teaching them something else, but I like the social skills part of it. Like be with them.
Oh,
talk
that's
to
good.
them,
Yes.
which
Mhm.
might the crazy part is when they do that, the kid actually then craves that. Like, hey, mom, can you play a game with me again? Instead of when the video games come back or the phone comes back. Hey, can we do that? I really like when our whole family played this game together.
Yes. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And isn't that something how, again, I'm focused on, you can tell my generation, I can talk about the generation as far as the board games and things in comparison to now, the board games brought about that family communication and laughing, the card games and those type of things. I must be clear on the card games. It was only Uno or Umades or something. That's that house that I was in. That's the house I lived in. See? So, but it's something to be said though, is that now the games and things are more of, it doesn't require a lot of communication and laughing and talking and together and the unity together. So that has even,
Yeah, it leads to the isolation, right? It leads to me knowing how to function independently. Nobody else but me, mine. I need. I don't want to share. I want this. I want that. I want this. Right? Where you're playing games, you're taking turns. You're
Sure.
laughing. You're joking. You might have to be more paying attention to you land on my property. So now you owe me money.
Right.
Like when you play spades, you got to learn how to count cards. You got to learn like, well, if I got this, and this, then
Yeah.
you may have there's a good possibility you got that. I got this.
Yes.
Like all those things come in
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
playing cards, right?
absolutely.
Yesterday, I'm outside of doing therapy, I work at Chaparral Youth Center, and one of the things we did, I was like, yo, you know how to play Crazy 8? She was like, no, let's play Crazy 8.
That's it.
Crazy 8 is similar to Uno. What you're trying to do is trying to match suits.
Yeah.
So I throw down a club and you throw down a club. You throw down a heart, you got a heart.
Right.
Got it, got it.
Absolutely.
Unless you got an 8 with a wild, or if you got the same card. So she's like, so I can be the king or the king? Absolutely. The king or the king.
Absolutely.
Right? So you're trying to always engage through
Yes.
engagement.
True.
You take away the boredom, right? The more you do stuff, cool. Now, mind you, I understand we ain't always gonna be able to do stuff, right? There's some things I'm gonna teach you how to do independently.
Yeah.
There's something
True.
I'm gonna try to build within you. Yo, when the last time you know how to like remember a song? Like if I look at like the ways you can cope, let's remember some songs. Why? Because if I can remember a song and I can do it and I can write it down, I can regurgitate it a cappella. I mean, my kids do it a cappella. It's not giving reward. Chick-fil-A, whatever. I
Oh, there you
that's
go.
right. So I do try to put that in
I
there,
like
right?
that, yeah.
And so if I'm in class and I'm getting mad because he keeps talking about me, I can tune into my song that brings me a little bit of joy. So now you busting and you doing all that, and I'm like, when I was young, when I was 17, back in time, I was you. Right, so I'm in my own world.
Yes.
And you're doing everything you can to get me off my square.
Mhm.
But because I know how to work inside of me, that don't work.
That's
If I don't feed the fuel, the fire won't grow.
Absolutely.
If I give it the fuel, it's gonna go. It's gonna explode. It's gonna combust. Me and
Absolutely.
you won't go back and forth.
Absolutely.
You might say something where I gotta get up or you gotta get up. Right? Now,
Absolutely.
if I take myself away from that, right, and there's no teachers, there ain't no phones, ain't nobody telling me to do, this is something I'm doing within me.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I understand that you can use all this stuff and bring it,
And
right, and have those coping skills all come together and
Absolutely.
utilize them,
Absolutely.
right, outside of everybody else.
Yeah.
Because it might be times where you might be bored,
That's true.
right? It might be times where nobody can help you but you, right? And as we talk about mental health, and I talk about it all the time, like, yo, listen, I need you to learn that you are your biggest resource,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Steve, I'm 10. I know at 10, I'm going to need you to be that. Because with you in class, I ain't there.
Right.
Mom ain't
Yeah,
there.
that's a huge way to empower them. too.
Nobody's there. This is you. I know you can do it.
Absolutely.
Right? Like you were saying, you got this. Now, let's try to build you some skills of certain things you can do.
Absolutely.
But now your job would be, let me hone in and do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right?
So you have the resources, you have some tools in place, and now they have to implement.
Yeah, you got to apply.
Yeah.
You got to
absolutely.
apply. You got to.
Absolutely. That's something. Wow. That's some Leon, with the team at home there, do you see any pushback when it comes to you trying to bring out conversation and engage? What type of, shall I say, pushback do you sure you see pushback, because all teams kind of give the pushback as far as being transparent and wanting you to kind of get to their business a little bit. But what ways do you see? What is one of the biggest ways you see as far as the pushback with the team you have?
Well, before that, I did want to piggyback off the boredom thing.
Oh yeah.
So, as we all know, the world is ran by tech. So when they say they're bored, it's because all they know is their phone. So they're scrolling and nobody posted anything new, no new videos, nothing. So they think like, since there's nobody online right now, they're bored.
The
They
light.
don't know anything outside of that screen. So they'll sit there and like,
The world's coming to an end now.
Coming to an end. So when I was going with like Briston, like when I have I say, what do you want to do today? So he's like, he don't know. So I'll give him suggestions. Like, we can go bowling, we go to the movies, we can go to round one, we can go somewhere. I'm giving him something so he can get out of the house. And then, like I told him, you're going to need activities, because in this era now, a lot of everybody who say they have friends is just people they met online through the game. Might not even know what they look like. Could be a 45-year-old man.
Yeah, right. And that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah,
Steve,
right,
So you're gonna come back with us and talk about that.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Right.
So I'm like, they're not really your friends. They're just somebody you just say, hey, are you on? You want to get on the game? And then that's it.
Right.
There's no interaction. You never meet them. You don't go to the house. There's no sleepovers. There's no nothing. There's no birthday parties. Nothing. So with Briston, like his social interaction is the boxing. Monday and Thursday. He meets people there. You know, he talks to them. He did grab a few people's numbers. He didn't even open up with like, he has been isolated. He's
Mhm.
like to where he has no friends and stuff. But he did come to me like a week ago saying, hey Dad, I'm gonna have a birthday party. I have friends now. So I
Okay.
want some people
That's
to
cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
so-
That's-
yeah,
that's
come
coming out of that.
about it.
That's
Yeah.
great. You see the growth
Yeah.
as a parent. You see the growth. Sorry,
Yeah.
but you see the growth as a parent yourself. Isn't that something?
So he said going to go to his electronics. I admit that, but at the same time, I'm glad he's actually talking to more people.
Right,
He hasn't
right.
been doing that at first. Well, he was, and then he went to a shell for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And now he's
And then he's
slowly
coming
getting back out of it.
But the fact that you as a parent is able to observe and see all of that, isn't that good?
Yeah, and then being aware of it. Because then if you're aware of it and you see it, now you can speak to it. Now you can give it life. Now you, okay, out there with the friends, we see you, little social butterfly. We see you. Like, and then now I can compare it. Like, what's the difference? Right? Between Justin 1-2 shoot 'em up gangbang, right? To like these people over here that are real,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
And so now you're like, oh, I talk, I interact. The same thing Dad was saying is that
Right.
now like these are more relations that are intimate, whereas though these are just people that
Absolutely.
I meet online that we cool, but like
I don't really
the
know them.
friend title
Yeah.
is a little different because I do think the other thing we started to do as a society is like everybody's my best friend, my bestie, my bestie,
Yeah.
my bestie.
Bestie.
No,
Yeah.
look, we cool. I don't have no problem with none of y'all. We all cool. These dudes over here,
Right.
they my friends. They my people.
Right.
Anything go down, they showing
They got
up.
my back. That's
Anything go
right.
down with them, I'm
That's
showing
right.
up.
That's right.
You
That's
better
right.
call your friends, right? Because I'm not showing up.
Right.
With all due respect, like I try to be really authentic and real.
Oh
and
yeah, you
like
have to.
who
You have
I
to.
am, what I can
Friends
control,
and- yeah.
what I'm not, right? And
Yeah.
that friend title, it carries a little weight.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's some responsibility
You
that goes.
can't use it so loosely.
But in society, with our little ones, because they don't have that social dynamic, right? Now, friends can be anybody.
It couldn't be. It couldn't be.
James, like you said, James could be 45.
Yeah.
That's my homie.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
It looked totally different. I'm 12 with a 45-year-old. Like, you know, like that ain't really the move.
What kind of friend? Right.
Right? What kind of friend is that, Kels? Like, you
Right.
trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Right? Like, that's just not it.
We got to get rid of your friend. Your
Yeah.
45-year-old friend. You better stay far away.
Right? We gotta figure out what this looks like. Why is he comfortable with you on a game? Right? And it all looks different. And so I think that's a big component to that socialization.
Right.
So I hopefully as your son continues to like, yo, Dad, I got some more, right? He starts to understand that, yo, y'all cool.
Yeah.
These are my people.
Absolutely.
Right.
And know the difference.
And know the difference.
Right.
And Dad can even help him with that. Like you see how these people, they coming over for the cookout or they coming over for the birthday. You're not invited that dude.
Right.
He's not gonna make it.
Right.
Right? If
Absolutely.
he does make it, we're gonna have a whole new conversation. Right?
Right.
He's not showing
I
up.
totally agree.
Right? And so that's why the friends.
That's right.
Come on.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
great. My cast,
We good.
Eric, we all good.
Uh-huh.
Him?
Right.
It's a different story.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
Right. That's a
And
different
so-
conversation.
I think it all ties into that friendship.
It really
piece
does.
Because that phone, those devices, right?
Absolutely.
They play a huge role in that.
It really does. It really does. I tell you, this has been great. This has been a great conversation, and we're going to pick back up with this. And Steve, we're going to have you back to continue this conversation with us. And we just had a wonderful time. And so, what we want to do at Let's Talk About It podcast, we want to continue to talk and grow. And so, let's keep talking. Let's keep learning, and let's keep the community engaged and what's going on. And we want to continue to focus on mental wellness, what that looks like in society today. And so we're grateful that True Abundant Life Community Outreach has created this platform, the podcast, Let's Talk About It. And then we have our of course, our True Abundant Life volunteers here who works with True Abundant Life, Jeff and Leon and Raquel. And of course, we're so grateful to have Steve with us today. And Steve's going to come back. You're going to come back and be with us at some point.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been great. So let's keep talking about it, okay? Again, thank you so much for joining. Let's talk about it. Let's keep the conversation going. Have a great one. We love you. And always know that God loves you.